to FIFA, Saudi Arabia over 2034 World Cup issues. EU pushes for unified tobacco tax rules on vapes. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi: fear in the face of an oppressive government is a sign of wisdom, but cowardice is a product of ignorance. Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, this is Hussein Ali and you are watching Shia Waves live from London only on Imam Hussein TV 3. The holy shrine of Sayyidah Zainab, peace be upon her, in the Sayyidah Zainab area near Damascus has reopened its doors to visitors, with the shrine's caretakers resuming their duties. Footage shared by Shia Waves agency shows shrine staff cleaning and preparing the sacred courtyard and inner halls, while visitors were seen returning to the holy site in an atmosphere of peace and spirituality. Sources confirmed that the area in and around the shrine is fully secure, with no reported security threats, ensuring a safe environment for visitors and followers of Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them, in Syria. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk on Monday emphasized the need for migrant labor standards to be respected as Saudi Arabia prepares to host the 2034 World Cup. With Saudi Arabia as the sole candidate, FIFA is expected to confirm the host during an online meeting of its 211 member federations. Turk stated that while the UN is not directly engaged with FIFA, it aims to ensure human rights considerations are integral to major sporting events. He highlighted concerns over labor abuses in Saudi Arabia, referencing ongoing investigations by the International Labour Organization following complaints from trade unions. Critics warn that hosting the World Cup could replicate the labour rights violations seen in Qatar during the 2022 preparations. Despite promises from Saudi officials to engage with domestic agencies, they have not committed to collaborating with international labour and rights organizations. 16 European Union countries have urged the European Commission to propose updated tobacco tax legislation to cover products like electronic cigarettes. Current EU regulations, last revised in 2011, exclude many modern tobacco alternatives, resulting in inconsistent national policies and market distortions. The initiative, spearheaded by the Netherlands and supported by nations including Germany, France and Spain, highlights the need for harmonized rules. The European Commission has set basic standards for e-cigarettes, such as nicotine limits and mandatory registration, but regulations on their sale and use vary widely across member states. While France plans to ban disposable vapes over health and environmental concerns, Germany is considering a similar EU-wide ban. Governments are urging the newly formed Commission to address the issue promptly. Let's take a look back at today's main headlines. Holy Shrine of Sayyidah Zainab in Syria reopens to visitors as staff resume duties. Head of UN Human Rights pledges advice to FIFA, Saudi Arabia over 2034 World Cup issues. EU pushes for unified tobacco tax rules on vapes. Also tonight, major developments in Syria, the fall of Bashar al-Assad, formation of a transitional government and global reactions. The daily scholarly session led by Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq al-Husseini al-Shirazi continued in his honorable residence on Tuesday, 16th Jamad al-Awwal. His Eminence distinguished between fear and cowardice, explaining that in narrations, these two are described as the soldiers of wisdom and the soldiers of ignorance. This means that fear is a soldier of wisdom, while cowardice and timidity are soldier of ignorance. Let's watch the statements together.
شکی نیست، شبهه‌ای نیست که حضرت ابراهیم از حضرت موسی علی نبینا و آله و علیهم الصلاة و السلام مهمترن. حضرت ابراهیم مهمتر از حضرت موسی هستن. بله بله. یک سیومش اینه که کلمه خوف، این را شما ببینید، خوف در لغت عربی با جبن فرق میکنه. روایتی که علامه مجلسی رضوان الله علیه در جلد شاید دوم بحار مفصل نقل کرده، روایت جنود العقل و جنود الجهل. خوف از جنود عقله، یعنی جایی که یعنی خوف از فضائله. لحاظا نسبت به حضرت حجت عجل الله تعالی فرجه الشریف و صلوات الله علیه تو روایات تو دعاها مکرر داره الخائف. خوف از جنود عقل یعنی از عقل خوف، جبن از جنود جهله. وقتی اینکه حضرت موسی خوف کرد، اگه حضرت ابراهیم هم جای حضرت موسی بود، شاید با شاید عرض میکنم شاید اونم خوف میکرد.
And now we continue with some short news. A symposium focused on China, ASEAN cooperation in artificial intelligence development and governance took place in Phnom Penh, Cambodia on Monday. The event aimed to harness AI's potential for sustainable socio-economic growth in the region. Cambodian Deputy Prime Minister Vongsi Vissoth emphasized AI's role in transforming industries and promoting inclusion and sustainability. He highlighted the Cambodian government's commitment to digital technology as a development priority, ensuring that AI benefits all societal segments. The symposium, co-organized by the Economic, Social and Cultural Council of Cambodia and the China Institute of International Studies, attracted around 300 attendees, showcasing the growing interest in AI's role in regional development. The office of Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq al-Husseini al-Shirazi in Mazar al-Sharif, Afghanistan, announced the distribution of the first batch of heating fuel to impoverished families. The initiative, carried out in collaboration with the Ahl al-Bayt Charity Foundation, provided 80 tons of coal to hundreds of underprivileged families, including orphans and religious students. The office emphasized its commitment to supporting needy Shia families amid Afghanistan's harsh winter and economic challenges. The initiative aligns with Grand Ayatollah Shirazi's directives to aid the poor and orphaned, with plans for additional humanitarian efforts throughout the year. The government of Pakistan-administered Kashmir has repealed a controversial ordinance that restricted public gatherings following widespread protests and a 4-day wheel jam strike. The Peaceful Assembly and Public Order Ordinance 2024, introduced last month, faced significant backlash for suppressing dissent. Thousands protested across the region, blocking major entry points, including Muzaffarabad. Negotiations between the government and the Jammu and Kashmir Joint Awami Action Committee led to the ordinance's withdrawal. Information Minister Pir Mohammed Mazar Saeed Shah confirmed the government's commitment to allowing peaceful protests. The JKJAAC, which has called for a major long march in January 2025 to address unmet demands for subsidized essentials and improved financial integration, expressed satisfaction with the negotiations. A new report by the International Federation of Journalists revealed that 104 journalists were killed worldwide in 2024, marking a particularly deadly year for the profession. More than half of the fatalities occurred in Gaza, where 55 Palestinian journalists lost their lives amid ongoing conflict. Since the war began on October 7, 2023, 138 Palestinian journalists have been killed, making Gaza one of the most perilous regions for journalists in modern history. The Asia-Pacific region was the second deadliest, with 20 journalists killed, including 6 in Pakistan and 5 in Bangladesh. Meanwhile, 4 journalists lost their lives in Ukraine, where conflict persists. The report also highlighted a rise in journalist imprisonments, with 520 detained globally in 2024, compared to 427 in 2023. China remained the leading jailer, holding 135 journalists, including those in Hong Kong. These statistics underscore the growing dangers journalists face, particularly in conflict zones, and raise concerns about press freedom and the safety of media professionals worldwide. On Monday, at least 40 schools in Delhi received bomb threat emails demanding $30,000. The threats prompted police to conduct initial searches of the school premises. Earlier, 2 schools had received similar emails on Sunday night, claiming that multiple bombs were planted inside and would be detonated if payment was not made. This year, schools, railway stations and airports in India have faced hundreds of bomb threats, most of which have been confirmed as hoaxes. From January to mid-November, airlines and airports received 999 hoax bomb threats, leading to 12 arrests, as reported by government data. In response to the threats, school authorities alerted parents to pick up their children for safety. Parents were seen collecting their kids from school gates while police searched for any suspicious items. With the fall of Bashar al-Assad's regime, significant changes have unfolded in Syria. More details in the following report.
The recent developments in Syria and following the fall of Bashar al-Assad have astonished the world. The rebel groups that have taken control of Damascus have declared that they are in the process of forming a transitional government. Mohammed Bashar, who previously managed the Idlib province, has been appointed as the interim prime minister. The rebels are also striving to establish security throughout the country and have granted a general amnesty to conscripted soldiers of the army. Abu Muhammad al-Julani, the leader of the Syrian rebels, met with Mohammed Jalali, the outgoing Prime Minister of Syria, to discuss the transfer of power. In other parts of Syria, efforts to uncover the secrets of the Sintinia prison continue. Various groups of people have surged to this prison in search of their missing loved ones. Although relief organisations, including the White Helmets, have been searching for the underground hidden cells of this prison, the results are still not fully clear. Global reactions to those developments have also varied. Supporters of the Taliban in Afghanistan celebrated the fall of Bashar al-Assad, viewing it as a victory for the Islamic government in Syria. A spokesperson for Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan praised the overthrow of Assad's regime in Syria by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. Less than 24 hours after Bashar al-Assad's fall, Hamas sent a message congratulating the people of Syria and the rebels. Meanwhile, Russia, one of Bashar al-Assad's biggest supporters, has announced that it will no longer remain loyal to this government, acknowledging the loss of one of its major allies in the Middle East. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and French President Emmanuel Macron have announced their countries are prepared to work with the Syrian rebel groups. These developments indicate fundamental changes in the political and security situation in Syria, and their efforts on the region and global policies are likely to continue. This is Aruj Fasma for Shia Waves.
We have reached the end of today's news. Let's take a look at the main headlines for this evening. Holy Shrine of Sayyida Zainab in Syria reopens to visitors as staff resume duties. Head of UN Human Rights pledges advice to FIFA, Saudi Arabia over 2034 World Cup issues. EU pushes for unified tobacco tax rules on vapes. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi: fear in the face of an oppressive government is a sign of wisdom, but cowardice is a product of ignorance. Major developments in Syria: the fall of Bashar al-Assad, formation of a transitional government, and global reactions. You can view the latest news on our website, or you can send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Contact us on the numbers at the bottom of your screen. Thank you all for watching. We pray to Allah the Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The sun sets and is silent. There is no one that's patient. As hearts break for this moment, the one who sees Ali aches. Named Haydar by his mother, killed 35 at Badr and raised the gate of Khaybar. When finding her rib, he shakes. He sits curled up and crying. The Lion of God wailing, and every cry is asking, how can Fatima's rib break? A tragedy he has found. He sheds tears that shake the ground. Every time they hear a sound, the sound of her rib breaking. Her rib reaches his finger. The thought of it is torture. He cannot bear to touch her. The door he's remembering. Between the door and the wall, the one from heaven would fall. And when for help she would call, for Ali she'd be screaming. At Khaybar, Ali would stand. The moon upon earth would land. He raised the gates with his hand, but he couldn't touch her rib. The one who never felt fear is tortured by every tear. He wishes he wasn't here and was still fighting marhab. Give Ali any battle, any pain, any trial, just no rib and no nail and no Muhsin's empty crib.
When a person cries for Imam Hussein, this tear that comes out of the eye is an expression of the love and the mahabba and the mawadda for Imam Hussein, which is in the heart. Therefore, the tear is an expression of this firmly deep root